Conservation matters a lot in Colorado. It always has, but certainly now more than ever because of the tremendous population growth we're seeing. I'm Sydney Macy, and I've been involved in land conservation since 1975, so that's 43 years. Private landowners in Colorado are really the heart of Colorado. So much of the public land in this state, I mean, we're almost 2/3 public land in this state. And a lot of that is, it's the beautiful mountains, but it's a lot of rock and ice and not really habitable property. And private landowners really own the special gem properties in the state. They're critical, and really most properties that go into conservation are properties that have been well taken care of.
My name is Dallas May. I ranch and farm in southeastern Colorado. My family has been here for 5 generations. Both of my great-grandfathers lost their places in the Depression. That's what's made me more passionate, probably than anything, is I know how hard it is to keep a place and to keep it going. And the places that are in peril of being developed or changed, it's hard economically to sustain it. What we try to do is find something that will allow us to maintain our passion of trying to keep our wildlife habitat intact and still be able to sustain our operation economically. And both of those are not mutually compatible. A lot of times they work against each other.
The May Ranch is a large ranch, 16,500 acres, just north of Lamar. For me, one of the most unique things about that property is Big Sandy Creek that runs through 7 miles of it and becomes live on that property. Big Sandy is mostly underground for its entire trek through the state, and it becomes live on the May Ranch, and it just creates this oasis in the middle of that 16,000 acres. And I am so honored and so proud to have worked on that property, on preserving that property. And Dallas and I met in early 2016, and we had that conservation easement done by the end of that year.
If it wouldn't have been for Sydney's expertise, there is no way that I could have gotten through the conservation easement process. She did it for me, she did it for my whole family, my grandkids. All of my family lives and works on the ranch, and the only chance we have to continue that is if we can economically survive.
Sydney Macy is a hero of Colorado. She's left an indelible mark on this entire state. It was almost 30 years ago when I first met Sydney, and we collaborated, and she was really the powerhouse, the quarterback of creating Great Outdoors Colorado. 1990, 91, 92, taking it to the ballot. When we were working on the early stages of Great Outdoors Colorado, we had a vision that Colorado Springs and Denver would never grow together and be welded into one nonstop city.
Growing up, we always heard in elementary school, in junior high, that there's going to be a major megalopolis from Cheyenne, Wyoming, all the way down to Pueblo, Colorado.
This is the landscape that I took the train through in my childhood, and I think the buttes and mesas in this part of the state are really part of me.
For me personally, working with Sydney was a transformative experience. One of the biggest lessons that I learned from her was that there are times that you have to be able to say no. If there's an opportunity that comes up and it just doesn't fit in the plan, sometimes you have to say, we can't do this. All open space isn't the same open space, that creating these amazing connections and more open space put together rather than just pieces. So I think that was one of the most important things that I learned from Sydney.
I-25 runs north-south right through the middle of Douglas County. The south boundary is monumental. So we took a comprehensive look at it, and we created a large vision plan for this corridor that, we anticipated a minimum of 25,000 acres needing to be preserved to preserve the visual aspects. But once you start looking at the realities of land ownership, it grew, and I think we've now preserved about 35,000 acres. We were fortunate that we had two big properties anchoring this landscape, the Greenland Ranch and the JA Ranch. The JA Ranch hadn't stepped forward and gone first. None of the rest of it would have happened.
Clearly, JA was a big, important property than the Greenland Ranch, and that was the big one. It was the only closing that I ever went to where every single party that was involved had people at the closing, because everyone knew how important this property was, that it was going to make a perpetual impact on the state of Colorado.
Sydney has a heart for conservation. She loves the outdoors. She knows a lot about the ecosystems, biodiversity, about rivers, about wildlife. And because of her efforts now, when you get to the El Paso County line and you drive all the way to Castle Rock, you have the Greenland Ranch and all of that great open space now protected in perpetuity.
I think the future of conservation in Colorado, and nationally and globally, is really with the next generation. And I think we have challenges, but we need to figure out how to engage the next generation in conservation and in the environment so that we know that everything we've worked so hard for will stay, because so much of it could go away.